Hello, everyone. Welcome back to the channel. This is John from Flippin' Ain't Easy. And today, another kind of a last minute Monday, Motivational Monday live stream where we kind of just kick off the week talking eBay stuff and just kind of give you an update on what I'm doing as it pertains to the many changes that I make. I'm always looking to tweak things, looking to improve things. And I'm going to talk to you about that here in a minute. Just kind of letting everyone get into the live stream here. But before I sort of begin with anything, allow me to kind of just set some things out here. And that is, if you're watching live, please participate, leave your comments in the chat, leave your questions in the chat, because I want to be able to talk about what you have going on. And you can certainly support the channel with the super stickers and super chats. That's always welcome. And if you're watching this after the fact, couldn't make it for whatever reason, I forgive you. But certainly hit that like button, whether you're watching it live or not. And of course, if you're watching it after the fact, just comment, leave a question, and I'll try to get an answer to you if I can. We have Austin in the house. Hey, John, viewing you from work as usual. And definitely, I hate to cause anyone to be disrupted from their work. I'd love to listen to eBay videos while I'm working. I think there's something to listening to the type of content that you're kind of dealing with. So whether you're working on something else, if you're listening to that kind of content, and then while you're working on eBay, you listen to this type of content. And I generally like listening more to the live streams because they tend to last longer. You know, to me, there's nothing more disruptive than watching a 10-minute eBay video, and then now you have dead space and now have to go find another video. And that definitely will kind of throw you off of your routine. So these longer live streams, I think, are good for those who like to kind of work and have something playing in the background. But, you know, while you're working, if you have a question, maybe you want myself or others to answer, please put that in the chat. You know what, I've been dealing with eBay today, and it's just so weird to me. It's like eBay is really messing with me. Every time I try to do something on my main account, it wants me to sign in. And so I sign in and it wants me to sign in and it says sign in. And then I have to manipulate it in such a way to where I'm clicking on other sign in options, and then I go to sign in before it lets me sign in. So I said, okay, I'm able to sign in on my app, but it's not allowing me to sign in at all. Like 20 minutes before showtime, it was giving me this problem. And I was simply trying to answer a question. I sold an Apple Watch, and, you know, I had a moment, I guess, when I shipped it out. I failed to take it off the iCloud. And she's like, hey, I can't activate this watch. So I'm trying to tell her I did it. Go ahead and try it. But, you know, I was doing all kinds of stuff earlier, and it was allowing me to do whatever I wanted to do in my account. But now I'm going to reply to her question. It won't let me do it. And so I finally changed my password. I changed it on the phone. And now it says, okay, do you want to use a PIN? So I said, okay, I'll use a PIN. And I played that game with them. And then I used the PIN and it went to CAPTCHA. Wanted me to find all the boats. So if you guys experience that, it's just maddening. It's like, okay, enough is enough. Maybe they've had a lot of people try to hack my account, and maybe they're making sure it's me. I don't know, but it's just kind of making me semi crazy today. It's like, come on, eBay, I'm trying to get some work done here. And then I've got a little bit of time before the show starts. And I had a little video clip I wanted to show you of the lot of stuff that we have coming in. We actually have 60 boxes of liquidation that we have in the garage, and we've gone through, I'd say, about 8 to 10 boxes already, and already filled our big rollaway tubs. We have like 3 large rollaway tubs, 2 smaller ones that we have that we're sorting through, and wanted to show you a video of that and kind of give you an idea what we do. We kind of go through what we think is going to sell, and then what we don't want to mess with, or we really don't think is going to sell. It's going to take a while to sell, or maybe just won't. We put them in the boxes that we originally got. with the purpose of basically reliquidating them to someone who does flea markets or Mercari and that kind of thing. But you know, we we generally try to, pick out the stuff that is going to really work for us. The things that, and there's nothing wrong with the stuff that we're putting in these other boxes. Generally, it's just stuff we don't want to mess with. What we're also doing, and I wanted to kind of share some of the changes with summer coming up, and tweaking a lot of the stuff that we're doing here on eBay. I had a conversation with Jenna, and we were talking about, okay, why? And a viewer, I forgot the name of the viewer, asked me this question about a week ago. Why is it that you do not do free shipping? And, it kind of made me look at the account a little bit, because you guys know I'm not an advocate for free shipping, certainly for a number of reasons. One main reason is, if you take a return, if you have free shipping, eBay doesn't allow you to say, okay, this label initially cost me 15, 20 bucks to ship it to them, and I want to retain that. eBay doesn't allow you to do that. Now, of course, you can use the refund tool, but that's not what the refund tool is worth. For. You're supposed to reach out to eBay for a $6.99 credit if you have a problem with that, return. So I kind of looked at it and I said, well, why am I not offering free shipping on the smaller items? Because all I'm doing, I'm taking let's say the item is 25 bucks free shipping. And that's what my competitors are selling it for. I'm selling it for like $18 plus $4.99 or $6.99 shipping. There's times that I'm selling that same item cheaper if someone was to sort it by price. Basically, I'm still not getting the sales. They're getting the traction. And I really think that eBay does reward you for free shipping, free returns. I really do. But to me, there's a limit to that. And so I was talking to Jenna, and we're saying, you know what about we try this? Because we want to try to get our stuff into search more. After looking at the traffic stuff that we talked about last week, I want to improve those numbers. And with summer slowdown coming, it's looming, end of June, early July, all the way through like end of August, it kind of dies down. So for me, it's about finding creative ways to be competitive and to get my items higher up in search. And so to do that, I'd say about half of my store is items that are under a pound. And for me, I'm charging up to 8 ounces, $4.99 shipping, up to 16 ounces on eBay. If you buy it up to a pound, they allow you to do first class. So I'm doing $6.99 up to like 9 ounces to a pound. And yeah, it's kind of working, but I think that I'm losing a lot of opportunities simply because I'm trying to avoid paying for a $5 return label. So I'm sort of rethinking what I'm doing and how I'm applying my strategy, and that anything under a pound, I'm offering free shipping, free returns. Okay. If there's a problem return, a problem swap out. If someone's spending their time trying to scam someone over an item that's under a pound, well, hey, it is what it is. Kind of write it off for the cost of doing business. Anything over that 2 pounds or more, I have a shipping policy that's $9.99. That's for anything over a pound. Anything between a pound and 2 pounds, and then I simply do calculated for 3 pounds and up. And for all those shipping policies, I pair that with a 30-day buyer pays returns. And I'm going to give that a try. I still don't think there's any, I don't think I'm ever going to go to that model where I'm giving free shipping for anything over 2 pounds, anything over 2 pounds, no free returns, because, I deal with some heavy stuff. I've got this mailbox with a lock and everything. It's like one of those huge steel mailboxes, and must be about 40 pounds, 50 pounds. And I ain't paying for a return label on that, and there's nothing wrong with it. So for me, I'm not gonna play that game with people. So it's just something to consider. It's a change I wanted to kind of talk to you guys about. There's nothing wrong with having a model for free returns, free shipping, and then on the same account for larger items to kind of, charge that return shipping label, and of course, make them pay for the original shipping. So that's kind of what an update of what I'm doing. But let's kind of jump out to see who we have with us today. We have Prairie Pond. Happy Monday, all. We have Aunt White in the house. Can you do a show on taxes? How do you prepare? Do you save shipping receipts, small parts purchased to fix an item, etc.? I think I may have answered this before. I really shy away from tax discussions because there's so many different variables when it comes to doing taxes. And of course, I'm not a CPA either. There's a lot of YouTubers out there that do talk about this, but ultimately, as far as preparing, I could tell you how I prepare. I use a program called GoDaddy Bookkeeping, and it keeps track. I link all my accounts to it, and the first year you do it, you got to kind of train it and tell it, okay, this is a business expense, this is a personal expense, that kind of thing. If you have, your accounts kind of mixed up with your business and your personal. And, periodically every quarter you go in and just double check it, make sure the expenses are categorized correctly. And that's kind of it. You wait till the end of the year and you then sort out all that, just double check that you have your bookkeeper in order. But generally, yes, small parts to fix an item, that's ties into the cost of goods sold. So there's many times like I'll buy a water tank for a coffee maker that has no other problems, but that's all it needs, and I don't have it. So I'll go out and spend $10 for it. And of course, I'll keep that. Now, of course, I have no digital receipt for it. It's all on eBay or Amazon. And, I will have that in my GoDaddy bookkeeper. I have all that on a digital record. So that's enough for me. IRS is looking for people that are trying to rip off the system. Bottom line, if you're doing everything you can and to keep accurate records, year over year, you're going to be consistent. Just like this whole eBay thing, eBay looks for accounts that maybe are selling hardly anything one year, and then all of a sudden, boom, you're selling a ton of stuff. They're going to ask you, hey, what's going on here? Well, IRS is the same way. And, they're going to look for patterns. And if you have a crazy pattern where, every year you're paying taxes and then the next year you're getting all this money back, it might kind of get their suspicion. So, do the best you can to keep records. An Excel spreadsheet is a great way to do that. And just kind of just keep track of all your expenses. And of course, for me, if you're buying individual items, yeah, you want to keep track of that. But when I buy a large liquidation lot, like these 80 boxes that I have, 60 here now, 20 more tomorrow, I'm not going to account for every single item that's in that box. I'm going to account for the large lots that I buy. So if I spend 2,500 or 2,400, whatever it is, on all these items, I'm going to have 4 lots that I purchased that I'm going to account for. And that's kind of it. Now, of course, you want to get an idea of how much you're dealing with, like individually, what each item is sort of cost averaging out for you. So whether it's $2 averaged, $4 average, it's very helpful to know how much you're making, how much you have room in this item. So I would say for me, it's about $2 an item is sort of what I'm finding when I buy these large lots. A little bit lower than that, actually. And I just rounded up to about $2 cost of goods. And so if I have that item that people are selling for $15 and it's sitting for a while, I can lower it to 10, even lower than that if I really wanted to, and to make it worth my while. So hopefully that answers your question without doing a whole video on it. But I really just don't feel comfortable going much further than that when it comes to tax discussion, because I'm not a professional at it. And while I do my own taxes and I think I do a good job, I certainly am not qualified to do a class on it or even a video for that matter. But thank you for your question. I appreciate that. The disgruntled octopus is in the house. Morning, all. How are you doing today? Sam is also having issues with sign-ins. Same here on the sign-ins. I mean, enough with the boats, enough with the hills and the traffic lights. When you click on the lights, it still doesn't give you credit for clicking on the lights. It's just enough with it. Okay. I don't know what's behind it. I don't use a VPN. I have given eBay no reason. My buying account, my other account that I use for buying, I can log on, no issues at all. Our other account that we don't use for selling, it's same thing. I can log on there just to check it, make sure that, after we removed all the items off the store, that 30-day period, to make sure no one wanted to return anything. I had no problem signing in. It just, when I sign out and I sign back in, and it just makes me crazy. And it's actually worse today than it ever was. I don't know. Maybe I have somebody trying to hack into my account, and I have a really tough password anyway. I'm not worried about anyone hacking me on that. So we have Johnny Chew in the house. eBay glitching again. It may be. It definitely may be. And then Austin says, sign in with Apple is broken all the time. I had to sign into Apple to help resolve that watch issue. Hopefully, it was a good watch for me. Hopefully that's all it is. Went into iCloud and removed it. And even though it did give me a message saying that if the watch is connected to the internet again, it may reappear. And I don't understand what that means. Maybe if it's connected to the internet on my side, that type of thing. But I certainly hope that when they try to set it up, it's not going to do that. Johnny Chu says they need more techs and cheap ass eBay. I agree. They have, their infrastructure is so old. We're talking over a decade or more old. And I'm not against them trying to be more modernized, but maybe start with their infrastructure and their programming, and enough with the glitchy software. And every time we try to introduce something, it breaks something else. That's just not good as far as I'm concerned. Kevin Hawthorne's in the house. How you doing, Kevin? I appreciate you. We have Semperfi 1918 is in the house as well. My lovely wife is in the house. She basically has taken over the garage. She's like, while you're in there doing the video, I'll be out here working. Awesome. We have Tommy Bernard podcast, because free shipping is 2015. We're here to make money, not give it away. You're right. And I'm trying to play eBay's game. eBay's game is, here's a bunch of things we're not going to tell you about. We're going to give you ranking in search if you accomplish these things that you don't know about. We're going to give you hints on things you need to do, but we're not going to be specific as to why your stats are the way they are, and how to get up to the top of search. So, I'm going to tweak things. I'm not going to give away the store, or, give free shipping on a $200 item that maybe has $20 or $30 shipping costs. That's not going to happen. I'm not going to be that person. You see it all the time, but I certainly am not going to do that. It's just too much money. And then you have free returns on top of that, and someone just changes their mind, and then now you have to pay $20, $30, $40 for that return label. I'm not interested in doing that. Aunt White says, I can't do free shipping. I live in Connecticut. Something might cost $10 to ship to New York. Could be triple that to Cali. And I agree. I agree with that. And you never know. It isn't like, look, I'll offer free shipping to the West Coast or to the East Coast, and then to anyone else, if you're in the Midwest, it's 15, and to the the other side of the world, it's 20. It's not like that. And of course, it's not hard to program anything like that, but eBay's infrastructure is just so antiquated that that's never going to happen. Molly G says, anyone else having technical issues, being asked to log in multiple times, shipping not available? Yeah, that's what I was dealing with literally 15 minutes before coming on to the live stream, trying to just answer a question. And then I'd click send, and then it would want me to sign in. And I'm thinking, okay, maybe it sent it, wants me to sign in. I sign in, I finally get it to behave, and it wants me to reply again. So it was really maddening here. Tommy says, look at the listing quality report. It takes away what ifs, shows exactly what your competitor do, shipping promotions. But you know what? I've done that. I've done that many times, and I've actually exported it to an Excel spreadsheet so I can really get deep down in there. And I'd say about half of the suggestions just don't. I do everything they ask me to do. And other than certain items, it wants me to give free shipping or consider free shipping or this, that, and other thing. So yeah, I do utilize a lot of things that they recommend. I mean, sales are better than they were a month ago, and I've been doing this the whole way. I've been looking at everything that they recommend me doing, and it just, for me, whatever they're asking me to do may be different than what they're asking you to do. It may be working for you. It's not so much for me. Tommy also says you get 0 bump for free shipping since promoted listings inception. Also, you take send offers that's coming off shipping now. How do you know that? I mean, really, let's be honest with this. I can't come out here and say I know exactly how the search works. Nobody that I know can. I mean, if you're knocking it out the park with your formula, that may be specific to what you're selling. But, I'm selling a lot of different things. You may have the corner of your market in your category down to a science. That doesn't necessarily mean that's going to, or that mindset's going to work for something else. That's the thing that's maddening about this. There is no manual out there, and I haven't met one person that knows exactly what's going on. To say that eBay wants you to give free shipping, they want to be like Amazon, where Amazon's pretty much free shipping once you have Prime. eBay basically says, hey, we want you to offer free shipping. We want you to offer free returns. And it's hard for me to think that eBay is not going to reward you for doing what it's asking you to do. And so how do you know? How do you know what eBay is doing with those listings if you do have free returns, free shipping, versus if you don't? I don't, show me a report that maybe will change my mind on that. But I think that nobody really knows for sure the actual impact. Like, I'll give you an example. And I talked about this before. A couple seller check-ins ago. Ask the simple question. What is the impact of negative feedback on a seller's account within the first 48 hours of receiving the negative feedback? And she said, she read it out. She said, that's a good question. And she started to answer it. And she got some kind of communication from someone. Maybe someone nudged her or whatever it was. And she says, oh, I guess I can't answer that. We're going to have to give that to another department to get back with you on. Of course, no one got back with me on anything, but they don't want to tell you about anything that affects anything on eBay. That's a secret. There's no transparency there. And, some of us think that negative feedbacks have no effect at all on your account. You see a lot of stores that have a ton of negative feedbacks that are just killing it. But I think it's a fair question. And why are they afraid to answer it? So that's something that, I want to figure out. I doubt I'll ever get the answer to all those questions, but I'm still going to ask them. J Money, Julio, how you doing, buddy? We're going to upgrade that to a dinner here pretty soon when you come on out. Thanks for the super chat, dude. I appreciate it. He says, hey, what's up, everyone? How you doing, man? Chris Morris, afterthoughts or any thoughts on the daily refinement? I've given those thoughts on a couple videos, and I know my main thought here is that, man, there's a lot of people trying to piggyback off of this situation. They're getting a lot of views and a lot of, a lot of play on YouTube, making videos about what they think about Chris's situation. And I don't want to really be that guy. I made a video. I didn't mention him in the title. I didn't mention all that. I did make mention of it because I really thought that was going to be I was going to get a lot of questions about it, which I did. If I remember to try to put the link, I'll try to put a link in the video after we're done here if you want to go and check it out. There's a video I did about a week or two ago on the subject, and it's basically sellers be careful, and just be careful. Keep good records of the inventory that you get to resell, because you never know when eBay is going to come asking, because it's happened to me. I gave them everything they wanted and they left me alone after that. But you just never know when that's going to happen. And in his case, other than what he said, I really can't maybe go any further with it, because I don't have the ins and outs of who this celebrity was that he ended up getting the shoes from and this, that, and the other thing. But for me, if he's been selling shoes at, $100, $200 a pop, that's not what's getting, the attention here. It's the few shoes that he may have sold that were not supposed to be sold at all that I think were really the issue, more so than the other 1.2 $2 million or $1.8 million worth of shoes that he sold over that time period. So that's all I really have to say about that. I don't know Chris. I think he, I watch his videos from time to time. I think he's a good guy with good intentions, but as far as what happened to him, I wish him the best. Based on what I've seen in his work ethic, I think he will land somewhere just fine and will continue to do what he does, and that's make money. So, and that's the whole point of this whole thing. We have Yaz A. I tried free shipping. It didn't do a thing. Some items I have free shipping on, but they've not sold. So that's what I want to find out. Like I said, I sell a little bit of everything. And if there is just a little bit of a nudge in sales because you have free shipping versus charging shipping, then hey, the shipping or the search defaults as best match. Whenever a buyer goes on and searches on eBay, they have to know that there's a way to refine the search. If you want to check out the lowest price, including shipping, you have that ability to do so. And there's a lot of people who use that, but there's a lot of people who don't either. Let's take the people who buy your items, have zero feedback, don't know how to navigate eBay, and they're still buying items. They're signing up just to buy your item. They may not even know that there's a way to sort their search results. And so if there is a way to get my item up in search just a little bit higher, and eBay's rewarding me for, that free shipping on the smaller weighted items, then I'm good with that. Doctor, it's the BS new messaging system. You know what? I kind of like it on the app. I did sign up. Actually, there's a little link above your inbox if you're selected, and it's okay. It's a lot like the Instagram messaging that, if you use Instagram, a lot like just a text message on your cell phone. And I like that. And I wish there was a way they can actually, and I don't know if there is, maybe there is, I just haven't noticed it, where you can see if they've read it and what time that they've read it. Not necessarily when you send it, but like you're sending a message on iPhone, you can see when someone's read something, so that, you realize that you didn't get a reply back from someone because they just haven't seen it versus they've seen it and decided to ghost you on it. So like it so far, that's for sure. Let's see. One busy mama to you. Thank you for all your advice. Enjoy listening and watching you. Thank you for watching. I certainly appreciate you guys. And, for the other 80% of people who just don't comment or question, I appreciate you guys too. Certainly, I wish we had more participation because sometimes we do these live streams, we get down to the end and I'd like to keep going, but we run out of questions. So today, probably go at least an hour, maybe a little bit longer, but want to get some work done after this as well. Chris Morris, how to unlink your account with any family members or friends you have shared computers with WAG back before you knew better. My friend's account just got restricted because his brother messed his own up. So yeah, if you had someone sharing your computers and they've now moved on, they're not living with you, it's definitely a good idea to find a way to maybe unlink that from the history from your own personal IP address. Something I can't help you with, but I'm sure there's information on Google to do that. It's definitely a good idea. Let's see. You have any info? Any go-to pricing calculations to include cost, fees, taxes, margin? Well, I simply just look at if I'm into an item for $2 and I have to, in my mind, be able to turn that into an $8 sale, because you're going to have to factor in, and that's before shipping. So, that's what I want to get back after, maybe $6 I want to get back after fees. Taxes, I don't really care too much. Well, of course, what the buyer's paying in sales tax, I don't figure into that. For me, I figure out about 20% taxes. So once eBay sends me that deposit, I'll just take 20% of that out and put it in my savings. And, I realize the actual tax amount is based on what you make that year, but I haven't even considered, the fact that I'm going to, at the end of the year, deduct my cost of goods, deduct my business expenses and things like that. So, 20 might actually be more than I need to put aside at the end of the year. And so far, it's worked out well for me. I haven't found myself really paying a whole lot, if anything, at the end of the year over and above what I send the IRS every quarter. Chucky says free shipping doesn't mean anything. These buyers go for the lowest price. A lot of them do. They search by lowest price. And so by changing those smaller sized items to free shipping, what we're doing is we're going in, let's say I have the item for $15 plus $6.99, first class shipping. Well, that's effectively a $22 item. So I'll go in and, make it $21.99 free shipping and call it a day. Keeping in mind that if I take a best offer on it, I, really need to consider the fact that I'm not going to have a lot of as much room as I used to have without the shipping included in the price. Tommy says, I think 60%-ish of the sales or offers sent or received. Just think that percent comes off every free ship packaging. Okay. The lion's share. Hi, everyone. New subscriber, first time here. Already sounds like something I will love. Serious business discussion. Thank you. And, sometimes I don't have a whole lot to say on these live streams. Kind of give you what I have and just answer your questions. But I just think that it's important to see when or know when your slowdowns are. For me, it's always been, and for most sellers, it's always been the summertime. And that's because people aren't really inside. They're not focused on, I'm bored today. I'm going to buy this, that, or the other thing. They're out doing stuff with family, friends, that kind of thing. And historically, it's just been a slowdown for everyone. Now, there are categories that maybe knock it out the park during the summer, but I'm talking about stuff just over. I sell everything, like I've said, just in general, it slows down. And I'm thinking maybe about a 30% slowdown as to, let's say, what you might sell during the spring or in the fall. So it's quite a sizable slowdown. And so what I'm trying to do and what Jenna's trying to do is we're building our store because it's a numbers game. I generally, over the years, have had about 300 to 400 listings in my store at any given moment. And I've done well. I would sell about 200 items in a month is sort of my average that I've had. And come the summer, that drops. So it's a numbers game to me. If I have more items up for sale, then I'm going to be able to keep those numbers up. And so the goal for me is to get this store. We're already about 650. And by the time we hit the summer, we're at about 1,000 listings. And if everything sort of continues in line with the ratio of items that I have for sale to items sold, then we're going to be just fine. And growth is definitely one way to make it in this game. If you just say, you know what, I'm good with 100 items, but I want to grow, you're never going to grow that way. You need to be able to grow your inventory. Simplify says, training on days till I go to night shift till my sleep is all wacko. So not much listing. I don't do free shipping. Yeah. And it's good to have a schedule too. So find a schedule. Some people list in the middle of the night. Some people do it right after they get off work. Some people do it first thing in the morning. Find a routine that works for you and be consistent with it. Tommy says, look at search results. Only 9 of 20 are reserved for promoted listings. Then in this order, it's auctions, new listings, and organic. It's repeatable in most all big categories. Right. So that's an observation, but okay. So let's say you have 9 of those listings, and let's say 5 of them are free shipping. What makes eBay decide which listings are going to get that first 20 spots? I mean, I know what eBay wants us to do. Most of us know what eBay wants us to do. Yet when we look at our stats, you can look at your stats. I think mine were less than 10%, actually less than 5% of my listings ever appeared in the top 20. And that's doing everything I can to create a good competitive listing. So what gives with that? And I am using promoted listings. Now I'm not using the promoted advanced, but I'm using the promoted standard. And some of my listings, I'm doing over what they actually are recommending. And I'm still not appearing in but 3 to 4% of the top 20s. Nancy says, hi from Show Low, Arizona. Amazon is prepaid shipping, in my opinion. You prepay the shipping when you purchase your Prime account. Yeah, and if you're paying, what is it, $12.99 a month for the Prime, if you buy enough stuff from Amazon, I buy all my supplies from Amazon. And in fact, there's times that Amazon has delivered stuff to me same day. It's pretty awesome, and that $12.99 is well worth it to me. Let's see. What kind of invoices do you provide? Goodwill receipts? What about all the cash from local persons to person sales or flea markets? If eBay comes asking, I really don't know what to do. Well, okay. So what the government wants us to do is provide a record of everything, every transaction that we've ever dealt with when it comes to making a sale. If you're dealing with eBay, of course, that's digital. You can always go into your account and check that out. But as far as buying goods, of course, Goodwill and a lot of the stores will give you receipts. If you're buying it on Marketplace to resell, I know like Archie, we talk about every time he goes in and he buys stuff on OfferUp for pretty cheap and flips it on eBay. You go in and make a record. Here's the date I bought it from a private party, and I spent on this particular lot of goods, I spent $200, and you keep a record that way. And I think that's same thing with sales you make in cash. That's what the government wants you to do. Now, I came up with a video 3-4 weeks ago, maybe even beyond that. And it's like, if we're being real though, I mean, how many of you guys, and go ahead and put it in the chat, how many of you guys honestly can say that you keep track of every private cash sale on your taxes, even though the government wants you to the point where, we're talking about a cashless society coming up down the road, and government wants their nose in every transaction you make, no matter what. And, right now, how many of you guys report your cash sales? Let's say you do OfferUp or Marketplace, someone comes to your house, buys that $20, $40 item out of your garage. How many of you run inside and throw it in your spreadsheet? And I'd really like to hear, the ratio. Maybe 1 out of every 5. Let's see. One busy mama to you. If you print labels twice due to printer problem, do you have to delete one of them in system, and does eBay charge you twice? USPS labels, they will charge you twice. So you have to go in, and where it says shipping labels down the left side, click on that, find the label you ran, and go and void it. Now, FedEx and UPS ground, they will not charge you until they're billed by UPS or FedEx. And if you even go and try to delete or void those labels, it'll tell you so. It'll say to the effect that we haven't even been charged for this yet. And you simply go in, run the new label, and it'll update the item with the last tracking number that was generated for that item. Aunt White says, do you ship any packages in only its original box, no packaging? I wrap some items in heavy-duty brown paper. Boxes that fit a package well are hard for me to get. In most places only sell boxes in bulk. I love that question, and I can answer that for you. If the original retail packaging provides sufficient internal packaging, like the styrofoam, let's say on a printer, the styrofoam that basically encapsulates the printer in the box, then for me, that's enough. For the shipping companies, that's what they want to see. If I just take that original retail box and maybe throw some bubble wrap in there and bubble wrap the item, that's not enough in their eyes. Like, for instance, here's a box, shipped UPS ground. Now, we have a huge 24 by 24 poly bag. You can buy them like 50 to 100 at a time. I'm trying to figure out what this was, because we had a number of large items that we shipped out. This item, it's in the original retail box. We packaged it up really well inside to the point where there's no movement. And we packaged the outside with about 2 layers of bubble wrap of that box. Okay. And then we got the 24 by 24 poly bag, throw it over there, fit it, put the tape over so it forms as a box. I can tell you FedEx doesn't like you doing that. Okay. And they will hit you with extra fees if you do that. UPS ground, they haven't given me any flack. And I'd say about half the items that I ship UPS ground does that because I'm doing everything I can to avoid any broken items. Knock on wood, I don't have a whole lot of returns right now. And I hate saying that because I just know that as soon as this video is over, I'm going to get a return request just because I mentioned the whole return issue. But I'm doing everything I can to make sure that we totally protect the item inside the box and outside. I carry all these poly bags behind me, different sizes. And I'd say over half the items we ship are, bubble wrapped to death and poly bagged in such a way where it works well. I've been doing that for 3 years now since I've been doing this full time. And I absolutely think it's a great way to go. So if that whole box in a bag thing, it does work, but you just got to make sure you're very, very careful. Wrap it on the inside, wrap it on the outside, and poly bag that. Let's see. If we do free shipping, I take off best offer. I've been burned there, and eBay doesn't like us to reject best offers. And no, I don't really reject any best offers. I will always counter. Knowing that the buyer has 4 opportunities. So, for me, I'm not going to budge on my counter. My counter is fair. In my eyes, if I have a $50 item and I'm willing to let it go for 40, they want to give me 25. I'll tell them, look, I'll go 40. A lot of times, if their counter is not ridiculous, I'll say, hey, let's meet halfway. I think a lot of people think that's reasonable. It's the perception you're trying to work with that buyer. A lot of times they'll take it. But there's a certain amount in my mind that I'm not going to go any lower than. And if we get to that point, I'm going to stick with my guns. And every time they give me an offer, I'll just counter back at $40. And of course, the good thing about best offers is when a buyer offers you, X amount for your item, it's really the only time within eBay you can be a salesperson. And I know that many of you think, it means nothing, but I really think that, you tell them, hey, look, I can mail this out right away if you want to buy this now. I'm not going to sit on it. Like I bought an item on eBay, took the guy 3 days to even put it in the mail. I think a lot of people are intrigued by, I want it now or as soon as possible. So it's your really only time to be able to tell a buyer, give them the benefits of buying from you. And a listing really can't do that. So stick to your guns. Come up with a price. For me, it's like if I'm going to go any lower than 40, I might as well just go and list it for 40, right? I know I can get, people have been selling it for more than 40. So I know I can get $40 for that $50 item. And why do I have to force a sale because you don't want to pay what the market's offering? So stick to your guns unless you are in this mindset where, hey, I'm making something off of it. If I'm making a profit, I'm just going to let it go. That's for each and every one of you to decide how to run your business. I watched videos where I think read a discussion, not watched the video, where someone was complaining that, eBay is becoming a race to the bottom. People are giving their stuff away. You know what? Everyone's got to make a business decision at some point. It's the people that are making money that are going to stay in this game. And the people that are giving their stuff away, they're not going to last very long. It's a math game. And if you can make a profit to where it's worth your time, you're paying your bills, you're able to live, then it doesn't matter what you and I think about what you're doing. Just keep doing it. Rob Dvorak, does anyone know how many drafts I can create? How long will these drafts last? Is the time limit based on updates or creation dates? That's an excellent question. I generally don't do more than 50. I've never done more than 50. I know someone had told me you could do quite a bit more than that. So someone, if you haven't already, I know I'm kind of behind on the comments. So if you haven't already answered, Rob, I would appreciate that. Let's see. Bernadette says, I have receipts, but not detailed with items enough since this thing happened with Chris. I'm thinking maybe I need to be much more detailed, which is a royal PIA. I'm not panicking, just reassessing. Chris, when his clothing was never an issue. Chris, the majority of the sales he made prior to doing the shoes was clothing, and he would buy in bulk. And he'd come out and tell you. I recall at least 2 videos where he came out and said, "Look, I don't individually go in and categorize every item I sell into a spreadsheet. That's a lot of time. It's a lot of energy. It is a lot of time and energy, and he would rather take that time and get more items listed. So he would go in and say, I bought a lot of 1,000 items and I bought it for, say, $2,000. That's what he would list. 1,000 items purchased for $2,000, and that would go towards his cost of goods sold. When you start getting into the rare things, you got to get your stuff in order. If you start getting into multiple quantity listings where a company can come to eBay and say, where's this guy getting all this merchandise? Maybe you should have your ducks in order. But if you have a lot of random stuff that you're getting, eBay is not going to come after you like that. But I could tell you that I had those controller adapters, maybe in 3, 4, 500 of them at a time. And I'm sure eBay came after me for that reason. I was able to show them not invoices from an actual company, not invoices that were saying that was an authorized reseller, but just where I got the merchandise from. And that seemed to do it for eBay. But in the case with Chris, I think he had a different situation. We're dealing with rare stuff that the company, whatever company it was, didn't want anyone reselling. And I'm just guessing here, and I don't even know if he knows. But I think that's probably what happened in his situation. So for you, I wouldn't worry about it so much, but try to keep as detailed a records as you can. It's always going to be better to have more information than not. Guillermo Beira, great channel. Love it. What's the best category is selling now? Well, that's a good question. I have a lot of electronic sales. I mean, I always seem to sell electronics. Baby stuff does well for me. As far as maybe outdoor stuff, more people are doing stuff, camping, outdoors, that kind of thing. I think shoes and clothing is still going okay. We're going to get to that place where it's going to slow down for that and then pick back up. Usually end of August, September, kids go back to school, that kind of thing. So, it's just going to be across the board. The slowdown is going to be across the board. And I think the best way to combat that is just to build up the size of your store. Let's see. Dan Frisco, as I predicted in my area, prices have jumped at flea markets, garage sales, estate sales. People have signs out that state eBay price. Wow. My thing is, okay, if you want eBay price, why don't you sell it on eBay? And why don't you pay the eBay fees associated with that price? Bottom line is, if people are willing to buy that item over eBay price, that's the market. And unfortunately, they will continue to sell at those prices if people are willing to pay those prices. Has anyone spoken of the new listing tool yet? It has some issues, but there is a place to leave feedback about the tool after every listing. Hope others take the time to do that. Usually I see the feedback option when I switch away from it. And lately I've been dealing with the classic version. The only time I switch over to the new listing tool is if I feel the need to list a video, like a 30, 40-second video of the item. I think that's very effective to show, like for electronics, how an item powers on, that things function correctly. I think if you're selling a shirt, shoes, things like that, it's unnecessary to post a video. But that's the only way I'm able to get the feedback option. Now you can go in and maybe click on it and click off of it back to the classic view, and it'll ask you why you're doing that. And that's your time to put in feedback. But is eBay really even listening to that feedback? I'm sure eBay knows how a lot of us feel about the platform and how it's just full of bugs. Are they going to do anything to fix it? That's the big question. Biggest reseller drama since Nicole and Tommy and Tracy are on the hiatus. Why does God hate me? I don't know what you mean. Hopefully everything's going good for you, though. AEIOU from eBay. Is it too late to make a DR ban reaction vid? I think a daily refinement, that is, reaction vid. I think I may do one. I guess it's never too late. For me, it's just like, um, I won't do one because I just don't feel like, and I probably get a lot of views if I did a reaction video, but I just don't like taking advantage of someone's unfortunate situation. Okay. Why Worka? I found out today as a seller, we can only send one offer to a watcher. If I bulk send make an offer, the link for make an offer in the eBay message is no longer valid. Um, Normally, it's that one offer goes to everyone watching your item. So, not really familiar with what you're referring to, but maybe someone has an answer to your question. I would certainly appreciate that. Trying to avoid the side chat in the chat, so I don't want to confuse anyone here. Let's see. Quick question from Adam Gutierrez. I am a part-time reseller with a store with 450 items, and I've had great sales, averaging 2,800 a month, selling 5 to 6 items per day. But some days I might get 10 to 15 sales, and the next day 0. Has anyone had this happen? This has happened 3 to 4 times in my first 90 days. It is quite common. I had on Friday a 700 and some odd dollar sales day. And then I followed up with like $150 day. Now, of course, sometimes you have to check your traffic, to see if there's a problem. Like I had a problem a couple of years ago with my store, like 3 days in a row. I didn't have any traffic, and that's why I didn't have any sales. They had to fix my store. But for the most part, it's just happens. It happens to a lot of us, and you just got to ride the wave, ride the roller coaster. If you look at your chart, in a lot of our cases, now some of you knock it out the park and may see a small dip, but some of us see a roller coaster sized dip, and it's concerning. Just keep plugging away, doing what you're doing. You'll be fine. Let's see. One busy mama to you says, I keep forgetting to track gas and mileage. Need to keep a file on that for IRS too. Yes, I have an app called Everlance, and like I picked up all these boxes, and it basically keeps track of every trip that I make in my car, and I just swipe one way for personal, swipe the other way for business, and it basically keeps a running total that I can plug into my taxes at the end of the year, that type of thing. Let's see. John Grissom, I think that buy it now overstock stores have killed the market for small sellers or actually not buy it now, bin stores, overstock stores have killed the market for small sellers that purchase pallets for inventory. I do not see it getting any better. And I think you're right. I think that last year at this time, I was able to get pretty much whatever lots of goods that I wanted to. And I'd say it's a lot harder now than it is ever before. And it's tied into a lot of those bin stores popping up and just buying truckloads of this merchandise. I recall about last year, Amazon was running to a situation where they had to take stuff to landfills because they just couldn't get rid of it fast enough. Now you can't find it anymore. Let's see. See what else we have here. No One Design 2. Hey, John, late to the live again, but been busy. That's fine. And thank you for just taking the time to pop in. I certainly appreciate that. Let's see. John Grisham. Oops. I have transitioned to consignment auctions, flea markets, and garage sales, and have abandoned the return pallets. Yeah, it's like Goodwill. We go to Goodwill. I go maybe once a week. It used to be every other day, and I'd find stuff. Now it's once a week. Wanted to show you that video. Just tons of boxes, huge boxes in my garage. I have this box, and it's almost going on an hour. I was thinking to maybe crack it open and show you what I have, but honestly, unless you guys really, really want to see that, then I'll just refrain from it. But I mean, if you guys want to, I can do it while we're here live. We still have probably good 10, 15, 20 minutes before it's kind of this live stream's done anyway. So if you guys want to see that, I can do it real quickly if you want. Let's see. As far as why Worka is following up on the question they asked before about the best offer feature. What I'm saying is, if I send up a second bulk, make an offer, only a new watcher gets the offer. The old watcher does not. Bulk offers are only one-time thing; they get it once. Yeah, and that's the mindset. I think eBay has it set up to where someone who's received an offer within the last 48 hours will not receive that same offer, and they still have the offer that you sent them. I believe that's how it works. Not sure how to get around that though, because when someone contacts me and says, "Hey, will you take $20 for this?" and I offered them 25, and I want to take the 20, I can't just go in and, along with the message that you're trying to send them, there's a little link that says send an offer. It won't even let me do it. I have to go in and change the listing to that price, or end it and relist it, which I think is sort of a waste of a listing. So don't really have the exact answer to your question, but that's kind of what I've noticed as well. Let's see. Okay, so thanks, Tommy, for helping out Adam with that. Now we're getting down to the sort of the end. You guys have any questions, eBay related, reselling related? Want to maybe take this live stream another 15, 20 minutes. If you don't, then hey, that's fine. Certainly I can use the time to get some more stuff listed. We're dealing with in the garage. Jenna's out there right now getting stuff done, but we're dealing with, I'd say, 500 to 1,000 items, I'm sure, that are in these boxes. And, Jenna had said, well, why don't you bring a box in? I don't know if you guys want to, Bernadette, you want me to open the box? Okay. I will open the box and I'll just see. Now, a lot of this stuff, it's returns. This is all Amazon returns. So I'll open it. I'll go through a few items here. Okay. The first thing in the box are some Sperry's, some shoes. They're these, oops, I'll get it in the screen there, some boots. And you could tell right off the bat that someone's tried them on and maybe used them. Soles are in pretty decent shape. So I know Tommy does a lot of shoes, so maybe you can kind of give me an idea what they're worth here. They're USA size 12s, saltwater heel brown. And I think I've heard of Sperry's before. You get little things like this, like muslin burp cloths, babies, car parts, mount suspensions, that kind of thing. Now, my cost on these boxes are roughly around $28 a box. True Image. So this is toner, off-brand toner. Generally doesn't sell too well. The name none of us can mention. Have some of these Cressy. I don't know what Cressy is. Looks like a snorkel of some sort. Let's show you guys. 3 more items in this box. This isn't a very good box. I think the Sperry's are probably the best thing. Himalayan salt lamp. Maybe a $20 item. Here's the joy of reselling liquidation. You see that? That's not an actual design on this container. That's a broken container. So there's no value there. And we have a 41-inch acoustic guitar gig bag. Looks like it's brand new. Has the original packaging and all that. So that's what we got in this box. So not a great box compared to what we've actually received, but give you an idea of what we're pulling out. I can certainly tell you that the 5 or 6 items that I think are resellable in there will double our money. What do you guys think? I mean, I received some Razer products. If those of you don't know what that is, that's gaming, PC gaming products. We're talking $80, $90. August door locks, Schlage, I think that's how you say it. wireless, or like not wireless, but Bluetooth, deadbolts and things like that. That's like $100 bill on each one of those. So just something to consider. There's a lot of good stuff we're getting out of these boxes. I just grabbed a random one, but I think those Sperry's will probably sell. Okay, so no one designed two. Got a weird sale. Buyer bought an item through eBay, a global shipping program, and canceled after it's been sent to eBay GSP place, and then reordered it again. So I sent it out again. Well, then they're going to have to, work that out with eBay. You did the thing with global shipping. You did your obligation by shipping it out within the time frame that you advertised to the address that you were supposed to ship it to, which is Erlanger, Kentucky. So I think you're good on both of those. Let's see. Thoughts on post office now increasing the amount of first-class packages that will be slowed in traffic. It was around 30% of all first-class packages. Now it'll be around 70%. I haven't, I haven't had a lot of negative experiences with a lot of the first-class stuff that we send. I don't anticipate having that problem. I think the onus is on eBay to really adjust the dates or the estimated shipping dates. They give you that window when you go to choose the label, estimate from this date to this date, when you go to ship it. I have a hard time thinking that eBay is going to penalize sellers. Now, I'm just using logic. Now, I'm not saying that eBay does that, but logically, you would think that they would adjust the expectations of the sellers based on that information. So Sperry duck boots sell great. So certainly we will get on that and get that thing listed. So just don't know we get different brands. We get shoes all the time. We get different brands. I've heard of Sperry's before, but I just don't know the actual return on them. They look pretty good, like maybe someone wore them for a moment, but of course I can't sell them as brand new, but I'm sure I can still make a pretty good one on that. eBay never has made me feel like I'm part of the eBay family, even though I've sold full-time over 23 years. Your channel makes me feel like I'm part of a group, and it's a nice thing. Well, thank you for saying that. All I'm trying to do is give an honest opinion. There's days that I absolutely love eBay. It's my livelihood, if I'm being honest with you. Of course, I do, do the YouTube eBay channel thing, and I do sell on Amazon. We do have some small sales on Mercari, but nothing like eBay. And, all I want is to be treated fairly. Now, I do understand the relationship that eBay has with their buyers, and I understand what the relationship is with the sellers. The buyers get away with whatever they want to get away with, and eBay allows it because they want them to come back. You as a seller can't get away with it. You could be selling thousands, millions of dollars on eBay, and they're quick to sever that relationship because you know what? There's another person right behind you that's willing to take that spot, take those sales. And unfortunately, it's not in line. Yes, buyers should have a little bit better treatment than sellers because we want that return business. Sellers have to take lumps. It's just part of doing business. But the attitude that eBay sort of has, to me, is just the wrong mindset. So hopefully, I'm not a cheerleader to some of you guys for eBay, and hopefully if eBay you're watching, I'm not trying to dog your site. Seriously, I'm not. It's where I do business. But just trying to give you guys an honest assessment of my thoughts. And I'm not always right either. Sometimes I'm way off the mark. Bernadette says, is this the normal quality value of stuff you get in these boxes? I would say that the average item that I receive from these boxes is, think of something you just bought. You just took out of the box, you plugged it in and said, you know what? I ain't feeling this. I don't like it. And you put it right back in the box and send it back. That's what we call open box. And for me, I'm good with that. It's pretty good. There's times you get someone who will use the heck out of something. If you watched a couple of my unboxings, there's one where it looks like they stepped in the mud. Maybe they're feeding the pigs. I don't know. And they decided that they didn't like the shoes anymore instead of washing them and get their money back. And they came into a liquidation pallet. Of course, we threw those things right away. We threw them away right away. But it's just random. It really is. You can get brand new stuff. And eBay, actually not eBay, but Amazon, they won't restock it. They'll just put it out in liquidation. And White says, do more pallet unboxing vids. I can, but for me, it's a lot of time and effort, and I don't mind doing it. It just doesn't get a lot of views. And yeah, the name of the game, just like I'm going to make all these listings for eBay, you wouldn't be so motivated to list a ton of items that weren't selling. And it's hard for me. I want to make sure the content that I'm doing on YouTube is something that people want to see. And so I'm not convinced that a lot of my audience wants to see a lot of the unboxing stuff. Do most of you hit promotional listings? Do you feel it doesn't help boost you top of the algorithm? I mean, I do promotion. I do the 1% game. Now, of course, I've seen some comments. Tommy will probably tell you that you need to promote higher than that. And I will do higher promoted listings. What I do after the 30-day period where the listing's going to renew itself, before I allow it to recycle itself and take up a listing, I will go in before it's about to end, and I will sell similar, and I'll up my promoted rate to a little bit more than the recommended rate. I'll lower the price if I need to, if it's not within what's been selling. I'll also add a best offer to that listing and fix anything I see what's wrong with the listing, and I'll relaunch it. And sometimes those listings do sell better than if I would have just left it alone. I'm always trying to do stuff to get my listings to sell. Let's see, what else do we have? Simplify says, I don't do promoted listings, but markdowns, and do them for a few days at a time. I think it's always important. Every time that I run a markdown sale, I run it for the month, and there's days that I'll notice, man, I'm not getting any sales. And it's like, ooh, I forgot to relaunch the new sale. I'll go in and relaunch the new sale. A day or two later, eBay will then start giving me more sales. So keep an active markdown sale. And that's for those of you who have stores. That's why I say it's a good benefit to have stores. So you can use that public coupon, not the private one. I can care less about the private coupon. The public coupon that attaches to your listing and the markdown sales, I think, really work well. Let's see. Christina says, hi, John, happy Monday. Have you tried a new messaging system yet? I like it. It's a lot like, your Instagram or just sending a text message on, let's say, an iPhone. You have that instant back and forth. What I don't quite like is it creates a separate message on the computer side of things. And if you're going back to look at a message, you have to go in and cycle through, like that maniac that I dealt with about a week or two ago. I had to go in. It was a nightmare making that video because I wanted to put things in the exact order that they happened. And it was just going through all those messages that I sent the buyer and received the buyer. It was just a pain. But if they can maybe incorporate that into the actual PC side of things, I think that would be great. Adam says, I have several no pays after 5 days and have actually waited 7 days reaching out to the buyer with no response. I will hold an item for a customer for the 4 days if they haven't paid and go in and cancel due to non-payment. Guillermo says, I heard end listing and sell similar is the best way to pump your listings. I think it's a good way to, because you get that boost, you get that new item boost when you relist your item as sell similar. If you have a lot of watchers, if you have a multiple item quantity listing that's sold prior to this, I would allow it to just recycle because you want to retain those watchers unless you have a serious problem with the listing. Other than that, single one-off items that haven't sold, I would just go in and do that. And I do it once a day. The larger your store gets, the more you're going to end up doing. I did about maybe 15 of those today before coming on this live stream. And I just think it really helps. Let's see. How fast could eBay boost their image if they made their search engine work, made bidders pay for auctions they won, and effectively advertised things that common people bought? On the seller side, it would be huge. But, what better place to go than to eBay? I mean, heck, if I can go into Amazon and put my item on layaway for 4 days before I decide to pay, and heck, I don't even have to pay. That's awesome. So, again, I think they're really focusing on what is the negative impact on the buyer. And that's that's why they've been dragging their feet. I think it'd be great from a seller standpoint. Let's see. Do I use P.O. Box as my business address? I'll be changing over to P.O. Box due to what is going on with the Shop Safe Act. Yes, once that becomes a thing, I'm a cheapskate sometimes. You can ask Jenna. The idea of me spending any kind of money on a P.O. Box, I don't know. But yeah, once something like that happens, I'll be more inclined to do it. Here's a tip that I've come across. It's from No One Design 2. For many years back, as a group of people opened one eBay store and ran the store as a group. They bought and listed as a group as well. They're still going to this day. And that's kind of the mindset that we had with Jenna running one store, me running the other, selling a lot of the same stuff anyway. You know, I would think that if you're like a husband and wife kind of thing, I think having separate stores is kind of a mistake, unless you want to niche out to like want to sell shoes on this store and want to sell baseball cards on this store, then it makes sense. But if you have the same kind of stuff, build a store together, and that's kind of what our new focus is. I think it makes us accountable to each other, and we've been growing it. I mean, maybe month or two ago, we're at 500 listings. We're almost at 700. And, we're accounting for the fact we're getting good sales. I think a lot of times we don't think about, well, my store is not growing, but how many sales have you made? You made a lot of sales. Your store is growing, but you're selling more than you're able to list. Well, we're now on the other side of that. We're actually listing more than we're selling. And even though we're selling quite a bit, it's still a good thing. We're still growing our store. One busy mama says, soaking it in like a sponge. There's a lot of good information in these chats and these videos. So hopefully, do me a favor, guys. Hit that like button if you enjoy this video, enjoy this kind of live stream. Maybe if you just enjoy having this live stream every once in a while. Again, I want to make content. I want to do things if it's going to garner interest, and those likes, hitting that like button, it really gets other people aware of this channel, and it does help the channel. So I certainly appreciate that. Let's see. Austin says, had a buyer message me telling me they would buy the item on Thursday, never bought, sold similar on that listing, sent offer to watchers, same person accepted offer, and they tell me they would pay in a week. Well, I would say before you relist that item, block that buyer. Once someone decides that they're going to go in, take your item off the shelf, essentially what it's doing. If you had a brick and mortar store, it's the equivalent of taking your item off the shelf and going and hiding it behind the dog food so no one would buy it. And then in 4 days, it'll be there when they need it. It's really, to me, it's a disrespect to the seller. The fact that eBay even enables this behavior, it's horrible. But you have ways of combating it, and that is go in and block these buyers whenever they do that. Thank you, John, and everyone, for the great advice. Appreciate you all. No, I appreciate you. Thank you for hanging out with us. Certainly appreciate each and every one of you guys. And then Aunt White has another question real quick. How often do you put things up for auction? Honestly, I don't use auction anymore. If I'm wanting to, and there's some items that I was considering doing that because I don't care what I'm selling it for. I just want to move it. And that would be the only time I'd use auction. And that may happen. But if I'm truly trying to make as much as I can on an item, I'm not going to use the auction feature. You generally don't make what you would get on a buy it now kind of situation. So, unless you have something that's very highly collectible, kind of a one-off thing, you can use auctions, or of course, not even highly collectible. Of course, that'll work, but something that has high demand. Let's say you got a PS5 in, you throw that on auction, you're going to get quite a bit for it. So it's a rare moment that I'll use auctions anymore. I really tried last year, and I just couldn't get a whole lot of leverage on it. So guys, thank you for hanging out with me today. Again, on the way out, hit that like button. If you like the content, you enjoy this channel, subscribe, and of course, hit that notification bell. But guys, making changes like I have, constantly trying to get ahead of the slowdowns, just another example of how flipping ain't easy. And I want you guys to have a great start to your week, and you'll see a video from me very soon. Take it easy, everyone.